The torch's flame trembled as the heavy oak door sealed behind them, plunging the narrow passage into flickering shadows. Young Marcus Aurelius, heir to the empire, found himself following his Stoic mentor downward into the very bowels of Rome, where the air smelled of damp earth and old blood. "Where are we going?" he demanded, his voice betraying the first tremor of unease he'd shown in weeks of training. The old man's laugh was like bronze scraping stone. "To meet your true teachers." What awaited in those underground chambers wasn't the marble-columned lecture halls of Marcus's privileged education, but something far more potent, the living laboratory where Stoic principles were forged in flesh rather than words. Here, in the forgotten crypts beneath the Colosseum, the final and most sacred rites of mental transformation were performed. If your breath just caught at that description, good. That means part of you recognizes the gravity of what we're discussing. This isn't philosophy. It's psychological alchemy of the highest order. The first circle, the Chamber of Stillness. Their descent ended in a circular room where 12 figures sat motionless on stone benches, their faces obscured by hoods. No greetings were exchanged, no instructions given. Marcus was simply pushed forward into the center of the circle and left standing there for hours. At first, he noted details. The way the torchlight played across the damp walls, the distant skittering of rats, the growing ache in his legs. But as time stretched beyond bearing, something remarkable happened. His mind began detaching from these sensations, like a ship casting off moorings. Modern brain scans show what Marcus experienced that night. After 90 minutes of enforced stillness, theta waves increase by 300%, creating a state neuroscientists call hyperaware detachment, the same state Navy SEALs enter during high-stakes missions. The second circle, the Fountain of Aversion. When the silence finally broke, Marcus was dragged to a smaller chamber dominated by a stone basin filled with putrid water, a concoction of vinegar, rotting meat, and human waste. "Drink," commanded a hooded figure. As Marcus recoiled, his mentor whispered the lesson. "What revolts you controls you. Master your disgust, and you master every situation." The test wasn't about drinking filth. It was about staring into the basin without flinching, about keeping one's breathing steady while the stench clawed at the throat, about demonstrating that no external stimulus could hijack one's internal state. Comment aversion if you've ever had to maintain composure in physically revolting situations. Your stories will shape our next training module. The third circle, the Theater of Cruelty. Deeper still they went, arriving at a crude amphitheater where slaves reenacted scenes of barbaric torture. Not for spectacle, for study. Marcus was made to observe every scream, every contortion, every moment of breaking, and then analyze the exact point where each victim surrendered mentally before physically. This was the Stoic breaking point analysis, a precursor to modern resistance training. CIA documents declassified in 2012 reveal that their SERD program uses nearly identical methods to prepare operatives for captivity. The fourth circle, the Mirror of Aurelius. The final chamber contained only a massive bronze mirror and an old slave woman holding a stylus and wax tablet. "Tell me," she croaked, "what you see when you imagine your greatest failure." As Marcus described his nightmares, losing the empire, failing his people, dying weak and forgotten, the woman recorded every physiological response. The subtle dilation of his pupils, the unconscious clenching of his jaw, the minute tremors in his hands. This was ancient biofeedback training centuries ahead of its time. Today's elite athletes use similar monitoring to overcome performance anxiety, but the Stoics got there first with nothing but observational genius. The Awakening. When Marcus emerged at dawn, he was neither triumphant nor broken, but changed in some fundamental way. The pampered prince was gone. In his place stood the ruler who would guide Rome through plague and war with legendary equanimity. His mentor studied him with knowing eyes. Now you understand. True power isn't controlling others. It's mastering the empire between your ears. If your heart is pounding right now, that's the call of your own untapped potential. The same techniques that forged emperors can forge you, if you have the courage to begin. Your Stoic crucible. For those ready to walk this path, here is how the ancient training translates to modern life. The morning inquiry. Upon waking, ask, what am I avoiding today that I should face? Then do it first. The discomfort diet. Weekly exposure to controlled adversity, cold showers, fasting, difficult conversations. The evening autopsy. Review each day not for successes, but for moments of mental flinching. Comet Forged, if you'll apply one of these this week. The most dedicated practitioners will be featured in our upcoming documentary on Stoic revival. The Final Gauntlet. As Marcus lay dying years later, his final words weren't about empire or legacy, but about the training that had made everything possible. Go to the rising sun. I am already setting. Even in death, complete mastery. This is your moment of choice. That discomfort you feel, it's your ancestral strength trying to reawaken. The comfort you protect is the chain that binds you. If this resonates with you, obliterate that like button. It tells the algorithm that real transformation still matters. Subscribe, because next week we're exposing how modern institutions systematically weaken the human mind. And comment Legion below if you're ready to join the new Stoic vanguard.